Big Fly.
Multimedia.
It's my first diabetes vlog, honey. Diabetes. I don't know what to talk about. Diabetes. So I have type 2 diabetes, and that kind of sucks because it really hasn't been fun. But I'm managing it. It's getting easier as we go along. I was diagnosed about 6 weeks ago, and I've adjusted my diet considerably. I went in to see a diabetic specialist about 4 weeks ago, and that's when I started recording my blood sugar. And it's been going pretty good. I'm on a medication called metformin, and they put me on blood pressure medication and a cholesterol medication. And so far that's been going pretty good. No major side effects. Little intestinal discomfort occasionally. But other than that, that's going good. This is just
talk
practice.
About how you used to eat.
Oh, how I used to eat. Yeah, I had probably, as far as being a diabetic goes, I probably had the worst diet in the world. I would get up in the morning and I would have probably about a 16-ounce cup of coffee that was a quarter sweetened French vanilla creamer. And that's how I would start my day. No breakfast. Then I'd go into work, and I do have a very high stress job. And I would go into work and I would sit there all morning doing my thing. And on a rare occasion, I would maybe have a banana halfway between coming into work and going for lunch. But usually not. But then I would also take off for lunch, and most days it was fast food, large soda, quarter-pound cheeseburger, large fry, eating on the fly. Never really took time or never really put much thought into what I was doing to myself. At the time, I don't think I felt bad, but now that I'm eating right, I've been living my life pretty much in denial of how I felt. I actually, now that I'm feeling better, I realize how bad I felt every day. So that would be my lunch, and then I would go back to work, and I would usually have 20-ounce Dr. Pepper and maybe a thing of ho-hos or ding-dongs out of the vending machine for a snack in the afternoon. And on a really high-stress day at work, I would go home, and on the way home I would stop at the grocery store and pick up a package of cookies or some donuts.
Sympathy food, because you had a bad day.
Some sympathy food because I was having a bad day. And I would sit down on the couch and turn on the TV, and before dinner I would mow in a whole package of cookies and probably another Dr. Pepper or two. Then we would sit down and we would eat dinner, and it was always, my wife is an amazing cook, and she would make, something with chicken, beef, pork, seafood, but I was a huge fan of potatoes, so I was eating, half of my dinner was either potatoes or pasta, which I'm finding out hasn't been really good for me. And
then sometimes you'd skip the vegetable.
We would have vegetables. My wife would make vegetables every night, but sometimes I would skip that because I had to have more potatoes and more beef or pork or chicken. Didn't want to waste room for the good stuff with vegetables. So then after dinner, I'd usually clean up a little bit, and if there was any good stuff left in the pans or in the pots on the stove, I'd snack on that a little bit, and we'd clean up and get ready for trying to relax in the evening. And usually by after dinner around 6-7 o'clock I was done answering emails at work, and it was time to kick back, so it would be maybe whatever was left in the donut box or the cookie box while I sat on my ass at the computer playing video games. and I'd stay up, and it would get to be about 11 o'clock, and then I'd come up to go to bed, and I'd eat a bowl of Lucky Charms before bedtime. And then the cycle just started over and over again. So I was really doing a lot of bad stuff diet-wise. But now I've made the adjustment. I'm eating really good, I think. Don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
He actually has breakfast.
I have breakfast. You can see in the intro for this video my morning routine, which is getting up, checking my blood sugar, taking my medication, drinking some water, and making breakfast. And breakfast consists of a sprouted grain, whole wheat toast with a little peanut butter on it. That's all I really need. I was never a big breakfast person. I'm no longer drinking the coffee at all. I just don't like the taste of coffee without creamer, so I pretty much cut caffeine out completely because I do not drink coffee, and I'm no longer drinking caffeinated beverages. The one thing that I can tell you is that was one of the hardest things to replace, but I found this stuff. This is Dasani sparkling water. It's flavored, and it actually tastes pretty good. It has kind of a sweetness to it, so I recommend this if you are just starting out being a diabetic. This is good stuff. It works for me. But then at work now, since I'm not drinking coffee or soda, my daily routine is a little water in the morning before I go to work, and then I keep a water bottle at work and I fill that up, and usually at about 9 o'clock in the morning I'll have half a banana. Bananas, 6 to 7 inch bananas, like 30 carbs, and I'm allowed about 30 carbs for a snack, so I kind of don't have much appetite in the morning, but I definitely make sure I eat that. That gives me a little more energy to get through. And then when I leave for lunch now, I'm fortunate enough to live close enough to work that I can go home for lunch, and it's usually a salad or a low carb sandwich wrap, and we try to buy lunch meat that's less processed. I know it's kind of a misnomer because it's all processed when you buy it, you know, the brand name stuff from the grocery store, but we buy the stuff that's best. And then my sandwich wraps usually consist of turkey or chicken, sometimes ham, and I put lettuce and spinach on it, a little mayo and mustard, roll it up, and it's been satisfying now. For meals, I'm allowing myself about 60 carbs per meal, and I've been below that. Most of my carbs for lunch come from, I'll have some crackers or some chips with it. I never sit down with a bag or a box of anything anymore. I portion it all out before I sit down to eat it, and that's worked really well. It's definitely helping. I'm losing quite a bit of weight pretty quickly. I'm losing about 2 pounds a week. I'm trying to manage that along with my blood sugar and monitoring my carb intake and more exercise. I use a step meter on my phone, and I keep track of that, and I average about 5,000 steps a day, as high as 14,000, 15,000 on some days if I get time to go for a walk in the evening. So that's helping. And then my wife prepares all of our dinners, the majority of them, and have you changed the way you cook?
Not so much.
No, she hasn't changed the way she's cooking.
You just eat less of the pasta and
Yeah,
potatoes.
so I'm managing that by eating less pasta,
I
less
make
carbs
less
in
pasta
general.
and potatoes because you're not eating it. So.
Yeah, so she's making less food, and I'm eating less, so that's working out. So we're actually saving a little money. I don't think it's going to offset the cost of diabetic testing supplies and whatnot. But
Dasani water.
And the Dasani water is actually expensive, but I did find a place. We were at the drugstore this weekend, and I found a place where you can get an 8-pack for $3.50, which was reasonable. Yeah, another thing that's interesting is I try to buy things that are good for me as a diabetic, and everybody else in the family likes it too, so it's kind of harder to keep some of that stuff around, but we're working through that. I try not to get angry, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes I fail. It's tough.
Somebody ate my raspberries.
So yeah, and then in the evening for a snack, or like after work for a snack, I'll have a stick of celery with some peanut butter on it. a few crackers or chips, just something that's within my, something that works within my diet. I've really been focusing on counting carbs. Calories I'm not too worried about right now because I am losing weight, but eventually that's going to come into play. The big thing about the diet for me is counting carbs, paying attention to how I feel in relationship to what my blood glucose levels are at. And already after a month of testing, I can tell when my blood sugar is coming up and I can tell when it's getting low. So I've been able to manage all of that with diet just by having stuff available for snacking, primarily carbohydrates, chips and crackers, stuff like that. In the evening for a snack now, it's peanuts or cashews, almonds, generally nuts, glass of water, and then I will occasionally eat cheese, it's low carb or no carb, and meat sticks that are low carb, turkey meat sticks in particular. Not the best flavor, but they're palatable, they're not too bad, and it beats going without. So that's pretty much the start of my vlog. I don't really know how to do this too well. I don't know what to talk about, but I do have some ideas, so I'm going to put one of these up every, I don't know, try and do it weekly, I guess, more often, if possible. Most likely it's just going to be when I find time. And right now I figured why not do one while we're driving to my mother-in-law's. We have to go and trim her pear trees. Just because I'm diabetic doesn't mean I can't do all the things that I used to do. So keep moving, and thanks for watching. Subscribe. Maybe I'll make another one. Think I should make another one?
Maybe.
What?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, go for it.
The wife thinks I should make another one. Maybe. We'll see how stupid this looks. Alright, take care. You guys have a great day. Eat healthy, be wise. If you think you're diabetic and you haven't been tested, go get tested. I found out through a different health problem. I went and saw a specialist, and they did the A1C test, and my blood sugar my blood glucose level through the A1C test was very high. So it's a good thing I found it early. I've been able to manage this with just the oral medication and diet and exercise. So, all right, thanks for watching. Catch you later.